Hello guys, we are here at the Fantasy Flight Games Event Center with none other than Matt Newman. Matt is the lead design of Arkham Horror, the living card game, which is a game that Robert and I have freaked out about consistently.
Co-lead design.
Co-lead design,
Yeah.
I should say.
Yeah.
Who else is on the...
Well, lead design on this box, but co-lead for the...
Co-lead for the whole.
Right.
But we're here with the Dunwich Legacy, which you are lead design on, so you have a lot to say about this one. The first deluxe expansion for this game, Arkham Horror. Can't say enough good things about this game, not just because Matt's here. We've been telling you guys this the whole time. Robert and I, neither of us were interested in the Arkham universe whatsoever, and yet the game was so good that we had to start playing it, and it really is that good.
That's fantastic.
So we're going to dive into this thing. We're going to look at all of the player cards here, including the new Investigators, and we're going to go pretty quickly because we do have a fat stack of cards here.
A lot of player cards.
Matt literally has to leave here and probably go design more Arkham stuff, so we don't want to hold him up.
Yeah.
So starting off, we've got Zoe Samaras.
Yeah, it's so hard being here. Oh.
This lady is the chef. I like to read the backs first. That's my first thing. So.
Sure.
Deck size of 30. Are we ever going to break from that? Do you have any intention of breaking from a deck size of 30?
Who knows? Perhaps.
Almost got him. Guardian cards level 0 through 5, neutral cards level 0 through 5, up to 5 level 0 cards from any other class.
Yep.
Whoa.
Okay, so we saw in the core set you had basically like a proper multi-class. You had 0 through 5 of one primary and then 0 through 2 of the secondary, and then all the neutrals. And then this one is similar, but instead of 0 through 2 of one thing, you have level 0 from anything else.
Yeah, we wanted to break away from that mold like right away as soon as we did the second box, just to show people that we're not scared of doing that. So all these investigators have that.
So
instead.
it's like designer chicken.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not scared.
You didn't think we'd do it?
Scared of you.
She comes with 2, of course, cards. Her awesome item, Zoe's Cross, I presume, and then Smite the Wicked, and then also 1 random basic weakness, just like your core set Investigators.
Yep.
She has 4 willpower, 2 intellect, 4 combat, 2 speed. We call that agility, don't we?
Agility, yeah.
A believer and a hunter, which goes well together.
God, this is so good.
She has a reaction, see, Robert and I have also freaked out in the unboxings because we have to relearn these symbols and what they mean.
Yeah.
So this is a reaction trigger.
Yeah,
trigger.
you
That's
can
what
just
you
call
guys
it a
call it.
reaction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whew, we finally got permission.
we have his blessing.
After you become engaged with an enemy, gain 1 resource. That's great. So she's a fighter, and then you get money for it. And then the superstar effect. Do we have a name for that in-house?
Elder sign. It's an
Elder
elder
sign
sign effect.
Okay.
Yep.
The Elder Sign effect +1. If this skill test is successful during an attack, it deals +1 damage. So
Automatic damage.
straight up combat, right?
Yeah,
9
yeah,
health,
she's-
6 sanity. This is
The chef subtitle belies how badass she really is.
So
Yeah,
she's-
no, she's crazy.
she's
good.
cooking up nothing but pain. That's what you're telling me. I think that's written on the card
She
somewhere.
is
isn't it?
a straight up monster hunter.
Let's look
great.
at her cross before we dive in too much with Zoe. 1 cost asset, Zoe's cross, symbol of righteousness, 2 combat skill icons there, and a wild item and a charm, and it's in her deck only. A reaction after an enemy becomes engaged with you, exhaust Zoe's cross and spend 1 resource, deal 1 damage to that enemy.
Yeah.
Ooh, right off
And
the
she's
bat.
already getting a free resource from her ability.
Whenever it engages, then you can
So
immediately
then you can
spend
immediately
it.
spend that resource
deal
and do
more
damage.
damage.
So any 1 hit point enemy,
No, we
just
need not apply.
dead. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
Free damage is always really good.
But then
combat.
my favorite of all of these investigators, of the types of cards that we see, this is her treachery card, her weakness. Smite the Wicked, it's a task. A revelation, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until an enemy is discarded. Oh, Matt. Attach Smite the Wicked to that enemy and spawn it at the location farthest from you.
Oh, and then you have to go on a quest.
So she's a hunter. When the game ends, if attached enemy is in play, you suffer 1 mental trauma,
Yeah.
which is similar to losing all of your sanity in a round.
Right. It's
a
almost
permanent-
like you were defeated by sanity loss.
That is
that.
so cool.
Yeah.
And the art is great. So we have Zoe here, has obviously the tools to fight things, and then is given a treachery card to promote her basically leaving whatever scenario is important and doing whatever you should be doing and going and hunting some big
All
baddie.
the other investigators are like, Zoe, where do you go? What do you know? Right. Be right back. I've got a monster to kill.
Got something to do.
I gotta get to stabbing.
All right, so there's Zoe. We've also got Rex Murphy, the reporter. Wow,
My
looks
favorite
great.
characters.
One of my favorites as well off the bat, just looking at him. Secret cards, of course, 0 through 5, neutral cards 0 through 5, and then level 0s from everything else. Has Search for the Truth, Rex's Curse. I'm interested in what that would be. And then a random basic weakness. And also says no fortune cards. Did Zoe have a deck building restriction that I missed?
That's just Rex.
Just Rex has no fortune cards.
No fortune cards.
Tell me about that. So does he not believe in it?
Yeah.
No, so his whole backstory is he's incredibly unlucky because he's cursed. And so in the other Arkham games, that manifests as he always starts with the cursed condition. And in this game, we also wanted to push that a little bit further. So we have a lot of survivor cards usually, and also some rogue cards that have the fortune trait.
Yeah.
So they're like lucky and look what I found and stuff like that. He can't use any of those because he is remarkably unlucky. He cannot be lucky.
Is he the cool. Murphy's Law originator? Play on words here with his name?
I don't know, but now that you mention it, I would imagine so. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That's excellent. His raw stats are 3 intellect, or 3 willpower, 4 intellect, 2 combat, and 3 agility. Nice. He is a reporter, as we said. He has a reaction. After he succeeded a skill test by 2 or more while investigating, discover 1 clue at your location. Cool. Okay, so he was good at that.
So he can get some double clues.
Which seems to be very important in
you
this
can also,
game.
What's also cool about that is you can use that with something like burglary and investigate. And burglary says instead of discovering clues, do this other thing, gain 3 resources. Yeah. But if you win by 2 or more, he can also get a clue anyway. So
very cool. And then the Elder Sign effect, +2 straight off the bat, and then you may instead choose to automatically fail this skill test to draw 3 cards. That's playing a character right there. That's beautiful.
That plays right into that Grim rule.
6 health and 9 sanity. Yeah, I love this. So you can, choose to essentially play to the character and say, "Oh, oops, I was cursed."
Oops, I tripped.
But then, you get your cards.
Get some cards.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun.
Fantastic.
All right, so Search for the Truth is his special event here, 1 cost event. It has 2 intellect icons and then a wild icon. Insight traded. Draw X cards, where X is the number of clues on Rex Murphy, to a maximum of 5. So as you're discovering things, you are rewarded by being able to draw a lot of cards with Search for the Truth. Like a true reporter.
Yeah, like a true reporter.
Excellent. And then finally, Rex's Curse. Oh, I'm just excited to see this.
So
this is going to hurt.
This is a weakness, of course. It's a treachery card. Revelation, put Rex's Curse into play in your threat area. Okay, not a big deal.
Not that bad so far.
So
far, so good.
When you would succeed at a skill test, return the revealed chaos token to the bag and reveal a new chaos token. If this effect causes you to fail the test, shuffle Rex's Curse into your deck. So it's essentially a reverse on the increased odds of drawing 2 and choosing one, basically like a re-roll.
It's almost like anti-Wendy.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah. So and it gets shuffled into your deck, so it's gonna come back again too. So he never really gets rid of it.
Thanks, Rex.
Wow. Yeah. Well, Rex looks like a blast to play.
Yeah. I love the art on that curse, by the way. Yeah. It's really cool.
Fantastic.
Like, he can't even get a drink.
Nope.
It's got like a fly, like a dead fly in the drink, and he's like, really?
Ooh, let's move on to Ginny Barnes, the dilettante.
A fan favorite.
Deck size of 30, deck building options, rogue cards, 0 through 5, neutral cards, 0 through 5, and then level 0s from any other class. Up to 5 of them, I should say. Then she has Ginny's twin 45s and Searching for Izzy, and then 1 random basic weakness. Now, these characters, they all, so far, have they appeared in other Arkham
All of these characters have appeared in other Arkham games.
Beautiful.
Not necessarily all of the Arkham games, but in some capacity they have appeared before.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah.
So Ginny's a drifter, 3 intellect, or 3 willpower, 3 intellect, 3 combat, and 3 agility, right down the line.
Jack of all trades.
Average. You collect 1 additional resource during each upkeep phase. Beautiful. And then an Elder Sign effect, +1 for each resource you have.
Love that.
How can you know
rich.
this is right down the line?
Yeah, she's
rich.
She's rich. We know how that works.
Yep.
And then 8 health and 7 sanity. So super solid. Ginny, her twin 45's a perfect fit. She has its X-costed asset. It is 2 speed icons and then a wild. Item, weapon, firearm. Action to spend 1 ammo and engage in a fight. You get +2 combat for this attack. This attack deals +1 damage, and it gets X ammo, which is however much you pay to bring it in for. So you have to pay for your ammo.
It's just a solid weapon.
Yeah.
But if you have enough resources, you can have a lot of ammo.
And you can make it you can make it happen forever. But once you play it, you can't put more ammo into it necessarily.
Right, unless you have another card like extra ammunition that can add more.
So you have to think about it real hard. Do I want 5 uses, 6 uses, 2 uses?
12 uses?
12 uses? I imagine Ginny can really get up there.
Load them up.
Yep. And she's not hurting for money.
Searching for Izzy, a beautiful card here too. A treachery card, weakness. It's a task that she essentially has to go on. Revelation, attach searching for Izzy to the location farthest from you. I like this mechanic you guys are using now.
Yep.
Put it away from you.
It's almost like a side quest.
Yeah.
In a way, yeah.
And then you have 2 actions and an investigate. If you succeed, instead of discovering clues, discard searching for Izzy. Forced when the game ends, if searching for Izzy is in play, you suffer a mental trauma. So basically you need to investigate and waste some actions to discover clues and then discard this.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very cool.
You better hope that location doesn't have a high shroud.
That's crazy. Yeah. So you got to put this far away from you, then get there, and then
Then
spend some
get there.
actions,
Then spend 2 actions to
and then you
investigate.
can discard it.
Hope to succeed.
So does this mean we found Izzy, or just like we know that it's not in that
Maybe
room?
you found a clue towards where Izzy is. Izzy is Jenny's sister, by the way, that she's looking for.
Okay.
So Isabella is her
How
full
long
name.
has she been looking?
That depends on how long canonically it's been since her backstory, which that's kind of up to you. It's vague.
Okay.
But I like to think like right now, like she's looking for Izzy.
Like it just
yeah.
lost. All right, moving on to Jim Culver, the musician.
Sweet.
I wonder if he's a musician in the same way that other girl's a cook.
Chef.
You know what I mean?
Chef.
He's a trumpet full of blood.
Bludgeoning
He is a
with his horn.
mystic, so
Yeah.
take that.
That
for
is
what you
really
will.
cool. Deck size is 30. Mystic cards, 0 through 5. Neutral cards, 0 through 5. 5 levels, 0 cards. From any other class, it has Jim's trumpet and Final Rhapsody. Oh man, this guy is just killing it for me right now.
He's cool.
1 random basic weakness. And then moving on to the stats. 4 willpower, 3 intellect, 3 combat, and 2 speed.
Nice.
Is a performer. And I love the idea of a mystical trumpet player. That is very appealing to me.
Yeah.
I guess because I was a trumpet player. Did you know that at some point?
This
Looks more like a cornet to me. Treat the modifier on, what do we call this, skulls?
Yep, that's
You
a
guys call
skull.
those skulls? Treat the modifier on skull tokens you reveal as a 0. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. Anytime you reveal a superstar elder sign token,
Superstar Elder
you
Sign.
may choose to instead treat it as a skull token. And then the superstar effect is +1. Now, is there going to be a reason? I imagine there's going to be a good reason to do that.
There might be.
Has 7 health and 8 sanity. Let's go to the trumpet, because I think we'll get some clues there. 2 cost asset, and it's the subtype is the dead listen. Look
What?
at that. The dead listen. This guy's
Man.
playing trumpets for the dead.
Somebody's too
They
clever. at
they
this.
can hear that trumpet.
Oh, what?
That's why he likes. That's why he
spoiler
likes
alert.
skull tokens.
Okay, so let's dive into this thing. Has 2 willpower tokens on it, or icons, and then a wild icon. It's an item, an instrument, and a relic. I love relics. Ooh. Reaction. When a skull token is revealed during a skill test, exhaust Jim's trumpet. Heal 1 horror from an investigator at your location or a connecting location.
Yes, please.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
This guy's gonna come.
And you don't even have to be the one who drew the skull. So
Oh, wow. Yeah, when a
super
skull
useful.
token is revealed, anytime you get to heal a horror. So
Yeah.
look at this beautiful, and then, so good. And then the ones that you reveal, you treat as a 0.
Right.
So this is
he likes skulls.
skulls and then just soothing everybody from the horror that's out there.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So we saw the mystics in the core set, and a lot of the mystic cards in the core set have bad effects when you draw those tokens, like extra, additionally bad effects. But it's not necessarily a mystic theme that it's always bad. Mystics just have those mystic cards care about those tokens
It's
more.
a connection.
Yeah.
Sometimes, as you can see with Jim and a lot of the other cards that you'll see supporting him, it's good.
Yeah.
to
can
get
be
those
good.
tokens.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, designers aren't afraid. They'll
No,
do
see,
anything. They'll do
They've already
anything.
won this game. I mean,
And then we have the
Oh, wait,
final
whenever you lose,
Rhapsody.
I win.
Final Rhapsody weakness. This is in times traded. That's terrifying. Revelation. Really? Reveal 5 chaos tokens from the chaos bag. For each skull or tentacle token revealed, take 1 damage and 1 horror.
Ooh, did I
So-
say it was going to be good to draw those tokens? Because not always.
whoopsie doodle.
So this
My
just
mistake.
this just happens
Nah, I was just messing.
immediately, right?
Yeah,
gravy,
just
yeah.
right now. So you always have
Wow.
to kind of have that
Revelation,
in mind that could happen at any moment. I mean, the odds of you getting all 5 is
Gee
basically
whiz.
nil, but
But it's possible.
I guess you could say.
only
I guess
if
it's
you
more
happen to have
safe.
4 skulls in the
Yeah.
bag.
And if you're playing on like high difficulty settings, right? This also like punishes that in
Possibly,
a nice way
yeah,
as well.
yep.
That's
It all depends on what's in the bag.
awesome.
Jeebus.
All right, finally we have Ashcan Pete, another musician and also a drifter. Kind of a combination of a few of our previous investigators. 30 deck, he's survivor cards 0 through 5, neutral cards 0 through 5, and then the classic level 0, 5 of those. From any other class, and has Duke, racked by nightmares, and 1 random basic weakness.
Yep.
has 4 willpower, 2 intellect, 2 combat, and 3 speed.
Wow.
You begin the game with Duke in play, which is the trusty dog. Perfect.
Yeah. So Ashcan Pete is nothing without Duke. That's not true. He's great, but Duke is half of the puzzle.
Is where it's at. Okay, so let's read Duke here, and then we'll get to, or let's read Ashcan, we'll get to Duke. Yeah. Free action, discard a card from your hand, ready an asset you control. I assume that's going to be Duke most of the time, hopefully.
Maybe. It could be something else.
And then Elder Sign effect, +2, and ready Duke. So the
okay,
dog
so you got
ready.
it.
Yeah.
Ready Duke.
Yeah. Come here, boy, we got work to do. That's nice. And then let's look at Duke. A 2-cost asset, a loyal hound, ally, and a creature. It has an action, exhaust Duke, fight. You attack with a base combat skill of 4. This attack deals +1 damage. Wicked. So Ashcan normally just a 2 attack, but you can use Duke and attack with a 4 and it's +1. And then action, exhaust Duke, investigate, like a bloodhound style.
Yeah.
You investigate with a base intellect skill of 4.
Wow.
You may move to a connecting location immediately before investigating with this effect.
Holy smokes. That's
Where's the trouble, Duke?
good.
That's so good. Yeah. So these two just kind of beautifully go together.
Yeah, and
again,
you'll notice Pete's stats are a little lower than most investigators, and especially his health and sanity as well. But with Duke on the table, he's essentially boosted in those other areas.
Yeah,
so
it makes sense. It makes it happen.
Yeah.
And then we have Racked by Nightmares, weakness, and it's madness traded. Revelation, exhaust all assets you control. Ooh, no, Duke, no.
No, Duke.
And put Racked by Nightmares into play in your threat area. Assets you control cannot ready.
Oh, no.
Then you have to spend 2 actions to discard Racked by Nightmares. So at the right time or the wrong time, this could be really bad.
Absolutely.
Especially because, you know, assets are going to be more than just the dog. You know, you're going to be building your stuff out, and then all of a sudden, you have to just deal with how weird things are.
It's also worth noting that Duke does not take up that ally slot.
That is worth noting.
He does not have an ally slot icon on him. So you can have Duke and another ally, which could be any number of the allies from the core set.
Perfect. Yep. All right, well, let's. So those are the 5 new investigators in Dunwich Legacy, which are all adding something entirely new.
I like all of them. That chef, though. Whew.
I mean, it's nice that we finally just have an investigator that is for the person at the table that you know is the person at the table that needs to play that character. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where it's like, can I just be put in front of things I need to kill? And it's like,
can I just beat things up?
Here you go.
Here's Zoe.
This is it. This is it.
Yeah.
And starting down that chain, speaking of beating things up, let's get into some of these player cards, starting with Blackjack, this 1-cost asset. It has the action Fight. You get +1 attack for this, or +1 combat for this attack. If you perform it against an enemy engaged with another investigator and you fail, you deal no damage.
Yeah.
So no liability to
really cool.
to be taken, and it takes up 1 hand slot.
Yeah, in the core set, we really pushed the Guardians like to kill monsters theme, and obviously we're doing that in this as well. But since Guardians also like to support the other investigators, a lot of the cards in this box that you'll see with Guardians want to support everyone else in the crew.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a cool way to do that too. We also have a 1-cost event, Taunt, and man, look at that taunt. That's exactly how you do it.
Double flaring it.
Double flares.
Come over here. I immediately regret this decision.
It is fast. You can play it only during your turn and engage any number of enemies at your location. Very classic taunt.
Yep.
That's exactly what you're looking for whenever you want to do exactly that.
Save some actions.
Moving on.
And if you're Zoe, you get the resource for each one.
There you go.
Oh, man. Wow. Yeah, that's getting rich, like that dilettante. 0-cost event, Teamwork. Speaking of helping your friends out, wild skill there on the icon. And investigators at your location may give or trade any number of item assets, ally assets, or resources among one another.
Whoa.
That's cool. So get everyone together and then blow it up and just be like, reassign everything where it needs to go.
Yeah, you can play a really good gun, and if you have a teammate who really needs a gun, he really needs a weapon, you can just give it to them and then maybe play another one. That kind of thing.
Teamwork. I feel like this is the kind of card that hopefully is in the game for quite a while.
And I like it how you
consistently
made
are
that
playing
a
it.
0-cost event there.
And it's got a wild icon, so even if you don't need it at any given moment, wild icon, that's just good.
Yeah, it's
just
always
put that in your deck
yeah.
for the icon.
That's a really good way to balance those like team heavy cards too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially for like 1-player or 2-player versions where it's like, well, I don't really need this, but if I'm playing with other people, I'll leave it in and it'll help, and if not, I'll just use it as the skill icon.
And it's not something that you're always going to want to play, but when you need it, it's really nice to have.
Yeah,
so.
And all the teams like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, oh, cool, thanks.
We have an upgraded version of Taunt with 2 pips on it. It also adds the speed icon there to it, and it's same fast, play only during your turn, engage a number of enemies at your location, but Draw 1 card for each enemy engaged in this way.
Yep.
So I definitely can see why you would want to upgrade to something like that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That will make it happen.
Even if you only get 1 card out of it, card that replaces itself is always great. If you can get more than 1 out of it, awesome.
Yeah, perfect. Moving on to Laboratory Assistant, a 2-cost asset, and your maximum hand size is increased by 2 while checking your hand size during the upkeep phase.
Whoa, that's nice.
Okay, sounds good. Not for anything else. That's a nice way of doing that. And then a reaction after a Laboratory Assistant enters play, draw 2 cards.
So there you go.
Perfect.
Yep.
And is an ally slot, 1 health and 2 sanity.
Wonderful.
So Laboratory Assistant, huh, Matt?
Yeah.
That's a pretty solid little
Helping you out.
include. Thanks. Hey, thanks. Strange Solution, 1-cost asset, has that wild skill icon, item and science traded. It's an action, test intellect 4. If you succeed, discard Strange Solution and draw 2 cards. Record in the campaign log that you have identified the solution.
That is too
What
Alright,
could
so-
that be?
too cryptic.
You used the camera perfectly. That's great. So, tell me about this. I mean, this
I'm
is
really
a,
excited
this is
for
a
this
whole
card.
new.
It's probably my favorite card in the set. So we like
Idea.
to push the boundaries of what we can do in LCGs with the levels and upgrading over time and that whole concept. And so this is going to be something that we do every now and then that we just want to kind of surprise you, keep you on your toes.
Nice.
So in the future, there
What
may be things
what does this
that-
do? I don't know.
Wait.
Yeah, we'll find out. If you have identified the solution, do X. If
Yep.
not, do Y. Like 6
Yeah.
years later. Can you
Oh,
believe that?
that's so good.
That'd
Did
be
you
cool.
identify it or not?
Yep.
Man, that's the kind of thing that would haunt me. Like I would have to identify
Yeah, now,
this.
now
Right, yeah.
that alone makes this an auto include.
Yeah, yeah,
And
it's like-
mind you, this isn't tied to this campaign or anything. This is
Yeah.
just
It's just always in
there.
your deck,
Yep.
and you just
Yeah.
record it once you've done it.
Why don't you
So it's
just
kind of
go
like an
ahead-
achievement in that way. Like
yeah.
let's play
in
a
sense,
game.
Yep.
And
And you get some cards back, so it's not an efficient card draw engine or anything, but yeah, you get some cards back.
Yeah.
So
and you discover. I love that.
It's
man.
not.
That's
it's not,
that's so
it's
cool.
not totally meta.
So
by all
very
accounts,
cool.
it should not even exist.
Moving on to shortcut, 0-cost event. Fast, play only during your turn. Choose an investigator at your location. Move that investigator to a connecting location. All right, little help. Now that could be you.
It could be
of
you,
course,
yeah,
or it could be a
honestly.
friend, and
Yep.
then you move them to a connecting location.
very
Little
helpful.
shortcut
But through the sewers,
through the sewers.
Through the
yeah.
sewers, well,
I
you got to
always-
have a sewer level.
that's right.
when I was a kid, I always had a dream about like a water puddle that you would like stick your hand in, and it's like, oh my God, there's a whole world down here. So that's what this reminded me of. I just wanted to let you know that, Matt, in case you ever need that information.
Thanks for sharing.
In case
Mark
I
it
wanna
in your
make a
campaign
scenario
log that you
inside
heard a
pool.
memory of mine.
Inside a puddle. Yeah. Robert told you about his puddle story.
Moving on to a 1-cost event, Seeking Answers. It's insight traded. Investigate. If you succeed, instead of discovering a clue at your location, discover a clue at a connecting location.
Cool.
Well, that's handy.
Yeah.
And it's a 1-cost event there. So Seeking Answers, and great art there as well.
Yeah, I love the art on this one. This is useful for a lot of different things because you can use it to find a clue at a location with a really high shroud,
Yeah.
or there's an enemy that you don't want to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with that.
Perfect.
And if you're Rex, you can find a clue at that location, and if you succeed by 2, find a clue at your location too.
Wow.
So that's cool.
Why are we not doing that right now?
I know.
I don't get it.
Cut this. Let's start playing.
Moving through to Liquid Courage, 1-cost asset, 4 uses, and it's an action. Spend 1 of those uses. Choose an investigator at your location to heal 1 horror. Then that investigator tests willpower with its skill test of 2. If the test succeeds, he or she heals 1 additional horror.
Yeah.
If the test fails, he or she discards 1 card at random from his or her
Yeah.
hand.
We know
Little
what that
Liquid
is.
Courage.
Yeah.
We've all been down that road.
Yep.
Makes sense, and it is supplies that you're spending off of those.
Yeah.
So I like of course, the flavor of that is hilarious and
Yeah.
great.
As is the art. I mean, and you could have just called it flask, but no, you didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Rogues like to play with gambly sort of effects.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you want to maybe go for the 2 horror? Do you have a good card in your hand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, tough. Good job, rogues. 1-cost event, think on your feet. It's a trick. It's fast, and you play it when an enemy would spawn at your location. Okay,
Cool.
so we got to think on our feet. Immediately move to a connecting location. Ha! The enemy still spawns at your previous location. So a great little get-out-of-jail-free card here.
Yeah.
This is
yeah.
really nice.
Really useful. Yeah. It's a good
Use
splash card
sound.
too.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, immediately move to a location. Yeah, it works only on you. I was
1 cost
hoping that I
alone.
could- then we have Double or Nothing, a question mark. Oh, this is a skill test. So it's a skill card.
Yep.
And it has the wild trait on it as well. Max 1 committed per skill test. Double the difficulty of the skill test. Speaking of gambling, right?
Ooh.
Yep.
If this skill test is successful, resolve the effects of the successful test twice.
Nice.
Yeah. And that's all of the effects of the successful test. So if you're using a big weapon that does multiple damage, all of that is doubled as well.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's excellent. If the skill is successful, resolve the effects.
Love it.
That's great. Of course. I mean, you've got to run these cards,
And
right?
truly double or nothing.
Double or nothing.
Yep.
And then hired muscle, 1 pip on this one, and combat icon is an ally. You get +1 combat, and then force at the end of the upkeep phase, you must either pay 1 resource or discard hired muscle. A classic theme. Do you want to pay the resource or not? I'll tell you who does is Miss Dilettante.
Yeah, Jenny doesn't care.
Jenny doesn't care. She'll hire
Jenny will pay
muscle.
for them forever, or send them into the pit.
3 health and 1 sanity on this
3
guy.
health is good.
That
Really
is
good.
good.
Especially
super
for a
strong.
1-cost ally. He's very.
You can put him in front of
very
anything.
tough. Yeah.
Stop this train.
Moving on to the purples, the Rite of Seeking, 4-cost asset. It's a spell. Ooh, new spells. It has 3 charges. Action to spend 1 charge, investigate. Investigate using willpower instead of intellect. If you succeed, discover 1 additional clue at this location. If Matt, would you read these for me? Actually, tell me what you call these symbols.
If a skull cultist tablet, it's like a stone tablet, or
awesome.
an elder thing, or the
Elder
auto fail.
thing.
An elder thing, yes.
Cool.
But you just call
or
that
the
an
tentacle.
auto fail?
That's
You
an
got-
auto fail, yeah. Or
Yeah.
tentacles,
Thank
auto
you.
fail.
At
I like
least-
auto fail. Auto fail symbol.
So skull, cultist, tablet, elder thing,
Elder thing.
or tentacles are revealed during this test. After this test resolves, lose all remaining actions and immediately end your turn.
Dang.
So double the clues,
Right.
which is a really important thing.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
in this game, you've got to have ways to get more than 1 clue per investigate. I feel like that
clues,
really
clues are
helps
how you win.
Yes.
You need clues. It's like progress in Lord of the
Really?
Rings. You need to get clues.
I hadn't considered.
Yeah.
Clues. Excellent. But you risk, after it resolves, you lose everything.
Right.
If you draw something that you don't want.
But if you're a high willpower character, if you're a mystic, or if
be no
you're
problem.
Zoe,
Yeah.
even, it's a great card.
It's not a problem.
Don't trust this one to Rex.
Ritual Candles, 1-cost asset, has a reaction on it after a skull, cultist, tablet, or elder thing symbol is revealed during a test you are performing. I'm a quick learner. You get +1 skill value for this test. So basically kind of a hedge against those bad effects.
Right. It makes those modifiers not quite as bad as they were. And if you're Jim and you draw a skull, now those skulls are +1, which is amazing.
Which is better than 0.
Which is better than 0.
That's beautiful.
Yes, they are.
And it's 1 hand, so you got to carry the candles around. Unfortunately, I guess there's no other way.
Sure.
Because you could set them in a location and leave them there.
Put them on your head.
Who would
Yeah.
do that?
I get dripped on by wax.
Clarity of Mind, gorgeous art here. 2-cost asset, uses 3 charges. Action, spend 1 charge, heal 1 horror from an investigator at your location. So a nice little spell to take
Great.
care of horror.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is always helpful.
Yeah, which is the kind of mitigation. That's kind of stuff when
bread
we were
and butter.
playing Lord of the Rings. Is like you gotta get the threat under control.
Yeah. You got to manage your sanity and your hit points, I'm sure.
Horror
Just
has a
matter
lot
of
to do that as well.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, I've heard that. I'll just crack this. I've heard that this
Yeah.
is just a blind reskin of Lord of the Rings. What are your
Uh-oh, fighting words.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well,
What would you
obviously
say to
there
the
are some
people?
similarities to Lord of the Rings, but this game is wildly different from Lord of the Rings in almost every aspect, save for those few similarities.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
It's
I mean,
what,
the gameplay.
cooperative?
It's cooperative. You run through adventures.
Which I don't know how you can do a cooperative deck without
Right, yeah, I
anything
mean,
like that.
but I guess the adventure structure is somewhat similar in that you pick up an adventure, each pack is going to be an adventure, the deluxe box has multiple adventures, and the encounter sets works the same as in Lord of the Rings because why fix what isn't broken?
Yeah.
The encounter sets are great. But as far as the gameplay is concerned, it's a totally different beast. You've got the action system enabling you to choose what you want to do on your turn.
Yeah.
I made guns right with my hands, so I
No
guess
guns in Lord of the
shoot
Rings.
things is what I want to do.
Action 1, Action 2, Action 3.
Unlike the phase structure in Lord of the Rings, where it's like, this is the time where you quest, this is the time where you travel,
Yeah.
etc.
It's way more open-ended.
Also, the location system is totally different. The locations are out there all the time; they're not in the deck, and they form a map and allow you to move from one
Yeah.
place to another.
That makes it
That's
so visceral
very different.
too.
Yeah,
It's so visceral.
Yeah.
and the whole thing is developed with the RPG kind of theme in mind. That this is supposed to be a game that feels like an RPG when you're playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, yeah, and it does do that, and it is way different. I was just trolling Matt. I just wanted to say that.
It's very immersive.
Making sure that everyone understood that. And it seems like you guys at Fantasy Flight are doing more, and I don't know if this is just because I have played so much Netrunner and because I love it so much, but that kind of more open-ended action
Clicks.
clicks kind
Yeah.
of system seems to be showing up. And it's even like in Destiny, it's action to action and going back and forth. In Arkham now we're introducing less phase structures and more open-ended kind of things. And I feel like that really is what has cracked open kind of a new, more freedom-granting style of gameplay.
I mean, we knew we wanted to do something more free. We knew we wanted to kind of open it up and let players do whatever they want on their turn, because that's a major RPG element.
Absolutely.
Of like, it's your turn, what do you do?
Yeah.
And the Netrunner system kind of fit that really, really well. But at the same time, it's more than just Netrunner. A lot of games like Descent and Imperial Assault, you have two actions. What do you want to do? You can move and you can shoot, or you can shoot twice, that kind of thing. So it fit this game really well, and as soon as we integrated it in, it was like supernatural.
Felt awesome.
Yeah.
Supernatural. That's
and
what
by
you
supernatural, I
want in a Lovecraft
mean
game,
really
right?
natural,
You know what I'm
not supernatural, but
The puns will keep on coming.
Stick around. 3-cost event
here
here.
always.
Bind Monster has 2 pips on it, and it is a spell. Evade. This evasion attempt uses willpower instead of speed. That's going to be very handy for most anybody casting spells. I would like to see the fast Mystic, though. I don't know. We haven't seen that, have we?
Oh, like a high agility
like
Mystic?
A high agility Mystic,
Can quick cast some spells or something like that?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Yeah, or just run.
Maybe.
Do a lot of running. And like
There's a lot of stat combinations, and there's a lot of investigators. So there'll be a stat combo.
How many do you?
everything.
So right now, actually, in your head, not even in your head, in development, in the grand, swirling mass of this game, how many investigators are you currently like aware of that are you're designing or that are designed?
Well, I can't say for this game, but in the Arkham IP that this game is obviously based on, we have about 50-something investigators total that have across all of the other Arkham games, Arkham Horror, Eldritch Horror, Elder Sign.
Nice, yeah.
And of course our newly announced Investigators of Arkham Horror book,
Beautiful.
which I don't know if you saw the announcement
Beautiful,
for. But, so that's going to have stories for almost all of them, if not all of them. So yeah, I can't say for sure how many of them will make their way into this game, but those are the ones that we're looking at, that we're working with.
Beautiful.
Cool.
Beautiful. Love it.
Yeah.
I got a little sidetracked there. If you succeed on that evade attempt that you're using willpower instead of speed for, or agility, and the enemy is non-elite, great mechanic by the way, evade it and attach Bind Monster to it. Okay, that's good. Reaction: when attached enemy would ready, test willpower at 3. If you succeed, attached enemy is not ready. If you fail, discard Bind Monster. Oh my gosh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's so cool. As long as you keep making it happen,
as long as you can keep those willpower tests ready. But eventually you're going to fail.
The dice
and it's going to break out,
yeah.
and then it's going to come after you.
Those tentacles happen. All right, moving on to the red cards. We have the Fire Axe, 1-cost asset, and it has an action fight. If you have no resources in your resource pool, it deals +1 damage. Now, what's that about? Tell me about that. Why is it that an axe is going to be doing more damage if you have no money?
It's kind of it's more of a thematic, or it's more of a thematic consideration for the class than about axes. Survivors are all about less is more, and failing is winning, and that kind of thing. So they're going to get effects that are like, while you have no resources, while you have no cards, while you are down, you get back
You're
up.
hanging on by a thread.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of a major theme with theirs. And for the axe, after we read the second part,
I'll do it now. During an attack using Fire Axe, spend 1 resource, which you can only do one or the other, right? Because you typically wouldn't have a resource to spend if you have no resources and get +1 damage. But we'll get there.
I mean, you can start the fight action, and then in the middle of it, you can trigger this, because this is not an action to do. This is a free
that
trigger.
makes perfect sense. So you initiate the fight, and then you spend it off,
and then you spend it off.
It resolves with +1 damage. Nice.
So
spend 1 resource, you get +2 combat for this skill test. Limit 3 times per attack.
3 times.
Smash,
so
smash.
where the Fire Axe theme comes in is you are making one big heavy swing, and you are spending your resources and getting up to potentially +6, which is huge.
Yeah.
And doing an extra point of damage on top of that if you've spent the last of your resources.
Beautiful. And this is going to be a great weapon for cards and investigators that trigger off if you succeed by 2, if you succeed by 4, if you succeed by... It's one of those that you're going to be able to really like home run swing with.
Yeah, you can leverage it,
That's nice.
Sweet.
Ooh, we also have Peter Sylvester, big man on campus. 3-cost asset, he's an ally. You get +1 agility, and then reaction after your turn ends, heal 1 horror from Peter Sylvester. So who is this guy? Can you tell me about him?
Well, you get what you see. He is a football player from Miskatonic University. He's a big man on campus, so presumably he's maybe the quarterback, that kind of thing. He's sort of a character that we made up for this expansion.
Cool.
So we like the idea of seeding in some characters that maybe you don't get the full picture of, but you can kind of glean something
That's
about
nice.
them from.
So maybe you bring him in as an investigator at some point. I mean, who knows?
Maybe, who knows? What's cool about this character, I kind of view survivors as like the main characters of a horror movie, right? They're not the ones who have the tools. They're not the ones who are the most well-equipped for the job, but they're the ones who survive and they're maybe surround themselves with people who can do these things better than them, who maybe die off one by one until they're the last one remaining, like Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
So that's
cool.
kind of where the inspiration for Peter Sylvester came in. Is he's your bro. You know, he's gonna stand by, and he's not as scared of these things. So he's shedding off horror, but he's also only a 1/2.
Yeah.
So he's not gonna stick around forever.
I love it.
But he will protect you.
Let's talk about Bait and Switch, a 1-cost event. It's a trick. Evade. If you succeed, if the enemy is non-elite, evade the enemy and move it to a connecting location. So there was the other one, which was moving you to a connecting location.
Right.
This is moving the enemy to a connecting location.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Man, that could really be
You're gonna trick them
hilarious
into
if
going that way.
You got some friends in
Gotcha.
there. It's
You
like,
throw up the barricade
Right.
and move on.
And I love the art for this. It's Amigo curled up behind like a makeshift doll of a person with a little ascot, and it's just so funny.
It's perfect.
I love it. It's so great.
perfect. Go get
Those
Space
silly
Ghost.
interdimensional creatures.
And then we
Silly
have
Migo.
we have an upgraded Peter here. Peter Sylvester, 3-cost, 2 pips for this version. Gives you +1 speed, air, agility, and +1 willpower. So a little bit added willpower there. And then you still heal 1 from him, but has 3 sanity there. So just a stronger Peter
Just
Sylvester.
a tougher, stronger Peter.
All right. Well, wouldn't mind that.
Now he's learned some things, and he's kind of leveled up.
That's right.
There we go.
Yeah.
And so
Everyone
maybe
can learn
he
and
didn't
get
die
better.
after all.
Right.
Or isn't dying yet.
He's back.
We now have a neutral asset, 2-cost Kukri. It's an item/weapon/melee. Spin an action, fight. You get +1 attack for this attack. I've done that a million times. +1 combat. If you succeed, you may spend 1 additional action to deal +1 damage for this attack.
Sweet.
So the Kukri, I mean, this makes sense because you got to spend an action, which is basically kind of like figuring out how you're supposed to operate this kind of a knife, which I've done many times in my life.
Why is it bent?
It's like, why does
Right.
everybody have these?
Yeah.
But apparently it's because they're weighted well, right?
Yeah,
They
what's cool
chop-
about
really
Kukri is
shitty
they chop
down.
super well, and they can chop through armor even. Did some research about Kukris when I made this card. So that's where that extra action comes in. It's like you do the chopping motion and then like boom, and you tear right through them.
tear through it.
Yeah, and it's almost like getting an extra successful attack.
Sure.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
Anytime you
Great.
can do that is excellent.
Yeah.
So there's the Kukri. And then we have a couple of new basic weaknesses in the decks, which are some of Robert and I's favorite
spice it
parts
up.
of this game. Indebted. It's a flaw. It's permanent.
What?
You start each game with 2 fewer resources. Thanks, Matt.
Dang.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
Look at that.
I don't have any money.
I love,
I borrow $5?
there's some detail in the art of this card that is just fantastic.
Tell me.
You can see a lot of the writing there. And
Yes,
when
deal.
I wrote the art brief for this, I actually provided a lot of that, and the artist was great and incorporated all of it, which is fantastic.
I'm going to leave that to the audience.
There's a name on the envelope on the top that is an investigator.
Yeah,
And
perfect.
I love it.
Perfect.
Far out.
Yeah.
Look-
I also
look
like
at it.
getting this card as someone who's like a student from Miskatonic, like Daisy Walker is actually faculty, but just like school debts. Yeah.
School debts. Bummer.
That's
Oops.
fantastic.
We have an internal injury. Ooh, classic. That is gross art. Revelation. Put internal injury into play in your threat area. Forced. At the end of your turn, take 1 direct damage. Ouch. And then 2 action to discard it. So how annoying. Just spend 2. I waste my time to have to deal with this internal injury.
Bandage it up.
At the end of a turn,
Stupid
take damage.
spleen.
I like this because there's going to be a lot of times where you're like, I don't have to deal with this right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you take a damage, you're like, I'm still fine. You take another damage, and then you pull 5 from the chaos bag, and then it's
Right.
over, and then the trumpet player's dead.
And for every turn that you leave this around, I mean, for a while you're gonna be like, yeah, I'll be okay. once you've taken like 3 or 4 damage from it, you are in dire straits at that point, my friend.
I've made some mistakes.
Yeah, immediately regret this decision.
Sometimes you don't have the time to.
2 out of 3 actions is a lot.
It's like waste my turn. We've got beasts.
At that point, you're banking on, can I complete this scenario in 9 turns or less?
Yeah,
pretty much.
I like that. That's the gamble you have to make.
Yeah.
Chronophobia, finally, a fear of time. By the way, for those of you that have not put those 2 words together before.
What?
Revelation put Chronophobia into play in your threat area. At the end of your turn, take 1 direct horror, 2 actions, discard Chronophobia. So a really cool way. It must have been an interesting thing to. Obviously, internal injury like writes itself, right? It's like, oh, you hurt and you tick down. But how do you tick down on horror?
Right.
What is something that sticks with you? It could be a nightmare or something. But to go with Chronophobia is phenomenal.
Yeah, I like this because Chronophobia is all
that?
about the. It's not so much the fear of time or the fear of the existence of time. It's the fear of the passage of time.
Exactly.
The idea that like I don't have enough time to do everything that I want to do. Not just now, but in my life,
Yeah.
And so that fit really well with a weakness that you take a horror every turn because every turn that's a turn that's lost, it's gone. You can't get it back.
Yeah.
So it's just stressing you out. And I love the art on this because it's not just a bloody clock. It tells a story. This is a clock that might appear in like a train station, and maybe the train was about to arrive, and that train is like the last train for the night.
Yeah.
And you missed it. And now you're dead, I guess. But it's so cool. I really love the art.
That's fantastic, man. There's just so much thought and care that goes into all of these cards, from the design to the artwork and the prompts. And you guys have a lot of control on the design side of what the art ultimately looks like, right? You send prompts literally to...
We write basically a description of what we want the art to look like, and then it's up to the art director to take that and make that a reality.
That's incredible.
And to provide notes and feedback, of course, if we write something that's ridiculous.
Oh, but that makes it all the cooler to see these things finally arrive and get to look through your Dunwich Legacy box and be like, look at all these interpretations of these ideas that you had in your head and how they eventually got interpreted into the game.
And the art in this game is so fantastic. Let me
I can't believe it.
They knock it out of the park with every single pack.
Yeah.
The artists and the art directors, and every art that I have envisioned in my head has come true. It's been made a reality, and I love it. It's so great.
That's a powerful feeling.
What more can you ask for?
Well, this has been Matt Newman, lead design, #1, only design. No, I wasn't. Lead design of this, the Dunwich Horror expansion, and then co-designer of Arkham Horror in general. So more to come from you, I'm sure. Thank you so much for joining us.
And many surprises.
Many surprises. There are secret liquids that you might want to investigate. If you are interested in this game, which hopefully you are by the time that you're watching the end of this, either now or you have been in the past, check out our subscription service. We'll send you all of this stuff without you having to do anything. It's great. And then we can come to Worlds and talk to Matt. And so it's a great system. Thank you guys so much for watching. We got more Arkham coming, so stay tuned.